Hey guys, I am back in front of my donut tower, and for today's bonus video, I had told you last week on the story time, my worst date ever, that I'd be giving you a bonus video from the same poll that you guys took on what you wanted to hear. As you see in the title, it is a crazy college story. Now, if you guys have been paying attention, you might have noticed that I included this option in my first poll for story time category, and it's because I really wanted to tell this story early on in this series because it gives you a lot of insight to how weird I am. But also this is a little bit related to Wrecked Radio days, and I thought a lot of the fans from that era might enjoy this story as well. Because for like 2 years of Wrecked Radio, I was just like had black emo hair, and then all of a sudden I had like different colored hair every week. And nobody really asked. That should be the logline of this show. This is just Paul making videos, even though nobody asked for them. It's actually a really, it's such a me story, really. And it just says a lot about who I both grew up to be and who I used to be, because it was in my college years, so it wasn't like I was a child. So yeah, this was my junior year, so that means that I was like 2 years or so into Wrecked Radio, and I was just becoming obsessed with, well, I become obsessed with lots of bands and pop culture things at different times, but I at the time was really obsessed with the Pretty Reckless and Taylor Momsen, like, really obsessed. I'm like, I want to be her. She's like 5 years younger than me, but I like look up to her. It was weird. I loved her blonde hair, and I'm like, I want that, and so I bought a box kit from Walmart and tried to dye my hair myself, understanding that I originally had dyed black hair, not even like virgin, just dark brunette hair. I had years and years of overlaid dye on my hair, and I didn't listen to anybody and was just like, I'm going to get some box bleach. That's like saying, I live in Pittsburgh, I'm going to drive towards Nebraska to get to New York. Like, I guess you could get there, but it's going to be very long and painful to do that way. But that's what I did. Nebraska. So the first time that I dyed my hair, it came out like a fried bright orange color, which, as a lot of you know who've ever dyed your hair, that's typical of, you know, both the beginning stages of dyeing from dark to light and just doing it wrong. And because it was orange and I wasn't listening to anybody else, this is like a what not to do on how to dye your hair, like, by the end of the story, you will believe me. I kept dyeing it. I kept bleaching it. And my hair just got more stringy and straw-like. It was becoming more blonde, but literally at some point, I couldn't get a brush through it. I was trying to save money by not going to some salon or listening to any experts. And so that's why I was buying all these different, like, lightening products until I finally had to go to Walmart again, into their salon. Did you know Walmart had a salon? I tried to get it to be fixed as much as possible. And then they tried to put, like, a mask over it to make it feel better, but it really didn't. And I went to, like, an awards ceremony at my school with, like, wet hair because I was almost late. So I ruined it. Summer hit. I was out of school for the year. And I was in Giant Eagle, and I saw this thing that gave me this idea, probably the worst idea in the entire process. I found a relaxer. I didn't really know how relaxers worked, or that you shouldn't process already processed hair. So I brought this home and I put a relaxer on multi-bleached hair, and it started to fall off in my fingers. There's actually a video on this channel where I show my new hair, just to say, guys, this is what I did, so I'll tell you so you know. This picture looks kind of cool. I looked kind of rad, but end of story, like, short hair was not for me. Like, I think that short hair looks really, really cool on some people. Some people can really pull it off, especially if they love it themselves and they are confident. But I was never a type of person that liked short hair on myself. I always wanted long hair. So I discovered the world of eBay wigs from China and Korea. I just got into this obsession of buying cheap wigs off the internet. I bought so many over time that I ended up with over 100 wigs. I don't have those all now. I got rid of a lot because they were cheap. They were like you can get a wig for like $10 to $15. It would take like 30 days to get to you, or something. But you get them, and you could only wear them a couple times before they got really, really ratty, depending on like, what kind of wig it was, and you'd have to like either cut them up or throw them away or something. But if you'd like me to give you a tour of my wig collection, you have to raise your hands in the comments because I have to know that you want to see that video because there's so many. But they're really cool. So when school came back around, college, my senior year, I both started wearing the wigs on Rec Radio. I thought it was pretty awesome. Like, I would really switch it up every single week. But I also wore these wigs around campus and to class. Like, all my friends and just the strangers, the kids that I had in class, and the teachers. My school was so vanilla and boring that they didn't understand the concept of wigs for some reason, and they actually thought that I was dyeing my hair a different color every single day, which, I don't know. I didn't know a lot about dyeing my hair, but I knew that was not very possible. And thus continued the weirdest year of my college experience. At that point, I just didn't give an F. I still got good grades. I was always very good at school and just like at least passing with an averagey like B grade. But I would roll into class in like my punk clothes and like my wigs, and if anybody had a problem with me, I just ignored them. But I was always weird in general in school. Like one time my anatomy teacher asked me why I had such a weird face when I was paying attention in class. This was like a class of like 40 kids. It was like one of those lecture halls, and he goes, "Jessica, why do you look so confused?" And he was explaining the cellular structure of muscles, and I said, I just don't believe you. And he goes, You don't believe me? I'm like, yeah, that's just like, it's really hard to visualize. I'm just seeing a cartoon, like, at least give me a picture. I was even like the punk in like the art degree. Like, I was always just being weird old me, and the thing was, the whole time, I still felt great. Like, I still felt confident. I was just being me, and I literally in college got to have kind of like a second high school, because when I was in actual high school, I was like a theater nerd, that I would just do like plays with my friends, and then when I got to college, I got real into the emo scene and the punk scene because of like Rec Radio and all the music that I loved, that I was that kid now, and I got to just be that punk that just did whatever they wanted and didn't care what anybody thought. And luckily, I still kind of feel like that. And you just find the people that are cool with that. It's kind of awesome. Finally, I hope you like this story of burning off all my hair chemically and buying so many different wigs. Tune in Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm pretty nervous because, I can edit around myself so that I don't sound like an idiot or say the wrong thing, but when it's live, it's live. And I'll be interacting with you guys. So I hope that you come to the show. I hope that you have a good time. And I'll see you on Monday. Bye, guys.